everyone. Good morning. My name is Barbara Murrock, and I work here at the Department of Human Services. And I manage our Immigrants and Internationals initiative. I want to thank you all for coming, and I have to tell you that the interest in this was pretty unexpected. We thought, we'd have 30 or 40 people, so we had to sort of regroup how we did this so it was manageable. But we anticipate it being the first of many informational activities, and that this activity will spawn collaboration among various groups who are service providers so that they can develop responsive assistance to our next group of new residents coming to Pittsburgh, the Congolese refugees. First, let me give you a quick overview of the Department of Human Services and our Immigrants and Internationals initiative. We have a very active advisory council, and it has several different cultures on it, including Latino, Russian, Bhutanese, Somali, Bantu, Korean, African from Togo and Kenya, and among other countries, Haiti, Muslim, Pakistani, Iraqi, and 4 refugee resettlement agencies, 3 literacy agencies, healthcare organizations, economic development, and Vibrant Pittsburgh. And the committees work on various initiatives together. They're very collaborative. They have a language access committee. They've developed an immigrant family child care program, career mentoring and resource information. There's a Compass AmeriCorps program now in Pittsburgh that works specifically with immigrants and refugees, and many of them are working the registration table outside, and a cultural competency committee, and they're the ones who sponsored this event today. The reason we're here today is because we're very happy the immigrant community in Pittsburgh has been growing. It's a welcoming situation for us, because we know that immigrants contribute to the vitality of our region. Some of the immigrants are more vulnerable when they first come, and we want them all to thrive. We've learned from the past, and we've become more organized. About, frankly, 8 or 9 years ago, when the Somali Bantu began arriving, the region was unprepared. And it's taken them a while, but I'm happy to say that 8 years in, they're getting their footing, and they have a community organization, a leadership, and they're not only sponsoring cultural events, but last Saturday they had their own seminar on keeping children safe and families together. But through our Immigrants and Internationals Advisory Council, we're organized enough and collaborative enough to be forward-looking now. And we're heartened by how many of you want to learn about the Congolese refugees who are starting to arrive and will arrive in larger numbers in the next year or two. We're expecting probably about 200 in the fiscal year beginning this fall, and there's already 2 families have come already. We know that as a group, these refugees have suffered some of the worst violence and human rights abuses in recent years. They're mostly ethnic minorities from the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. But we know that Congolese as a people are very resilient with a strong desire to succeed when given the opportunity. We have with us today representatives of the Congolese community of Pittsburgh. They're small in number. They tell me there's about 100 of them, but they're committed to supporting each other and maintaining their cultural connections. We're grateful to them for taking their time to participate today. They've pledged their help and support to their countrymen and countrywomen. And I just want to say that there's been, all of you know about traffic problems that are out there. There's 2 more of our guests that we're still expecting to arrive. So I would like to acknowledge members of the Congolese community who are here, who are not part of the panel. We're trying to make sure that they all have name tags so you can talk to them during our network time. I'd like to especially acknowledge Dr. Damien Kwamano. Would you stand, please? He's advisor to the Secretary of State for the Democratic Republic of Congo. If there are any other Congolese in the audience who would like to stand and give their name, now's the time to do it. Okay.
Anise Mundundu, I live in Pittsburgh.
Sarah Zongo.
Benoit Kiungu, one of the coordinator of the Congolese African Union, Pittsburgh.
morning. First, we want to make sure that everyone is familiar with the refugee resettlement process. We have 4 refugee resettlement agencies in Pittsburgh. We'll have a brief overview of the refugee resettlement process by a representative of one of the organizations, Kier Mugwanza. But first, I'd like to introduce the 4 agencies to you. The first one I'd like to introduce is AJAPO. Dismiss Bizimana is here. Dismiss, would you like to say something about AJAPO?
Yes, my name is Dismas Bizimana. I'm the Senior Case Manager at AJAPO. AJAPO is a resettlement agency starting this fiscal year. And prior to being a resettlement agency, we provided social support services to refugees of African origin. But now we are serving refugees from all over the world. As she mentioned, there are 2 families from Congo that have already arrived, and I just want to clarify, because it looks like there is a little confusion, because when we talk about Congolese, I think it has become that we all understand that it's from...
For resettlement agencies, we resettled 60 refugees. In the last few years, we've resettled, just like JFNCS, the northern area, Bhutanese refugees, Iraqi people from different countries from Africa, and we are expecting to resettle Congolese refugees in the next couple of years. In addition to refugee resettlement, we provide assistance with basic needs and a free healthcare center.
Thank you. And the 4th agency that does refugee resettlement is Northern Area Companies. And Kier Mugwanza, thank you, is representing them, and he will also, he's the director of their refugee services and community support, and he will give us a brief overview of a very abbreviated Refugee 101, so everyone understands how the refugee resettlement process works. Here.
Thanks, Barbara. That was close, the pronunciation of my last name. It's pretty close, but I get that a lot. So, first of all, let me just tell you a little bit about our agency too, just a few minutes. We are pretty new. We started in 2011. Northern area has been doing some other services since 1960, mostly senior citizen, mental health, disability. So refugee resettlement is new to northern area, and we've been mostly resettling Bhutanese